Hi, this is Brandon, CEO of BrandResumes here, and I'm here to talk to you about something that I'm really excited to share with you today, and it's 4 tips to prepare for a job interview in 2020. We are a resume writing and career advancement service for entry-level graduates, mid-career professionals, and executives across all industries. So it doesn't matter if you're in accounting or marketing or sales or legal or HR, we help everybody with professional resume writing and job seeking materials. I've been helping professionals just like you for over 5 years now. I've been coaching people through interviews, behavioral case studies, you name it, phone screening. I've been writing resumes and really have garnered all this information that has been working over all these years, and I just want to share it with you. And so be sure to stick to the end of this video because you don't want to miss any of the key tips or the tricks that I might be able to share. If you do like this video, make sure that you drop us a like and just comment in the section if you know of any tips that I missed or anything that you would like me to cover next, right? So tip number 1, deep dive into the company, right? And I say just dissect that company. The best resource is to really start with the company's website. And it may be a common thing, I know to research, but when I say research, I mean go through all the pages and make sure you just double check on that job description, right? So you apply to a job, you have the interview lined up, take a second, just go back to that job description, read through it once or twice more, and just figure out how we can start mapping and bringing up things in that interview that will relate well towards that role, right? So maybe go to the company's About Us station or the About our values or our mission page. Read through it, skim through it, just take some quick notes, right? Because you never know when you might want to throw in a question in the interview or even after when the interview asks, do you have any questions for us, which is also a great chance to just show that you've done your research, right? So when I say deep dive, there's also a lot of ways that you can figure out maybe some of the questions that they may ask or may have asked clients or candidates before. So there's Glassdoor resources, maybe hire.com, you can find some stuff. So just do that due diligence, go in there prepared, know about the company, know the CEO, just know the basic facts, right? Tip number 2, I would say master your elevator pitch. I just can't just stress that enough. Like when someone says, tell me about yourself, right? Let's say you have a resume in front of you or you don't have a resume in front of you. You really want to be able to just quickly, almost off the top of your head, be able to just, craft that simple, 50 or 60 second, message to really get over to your point, right? And when I say your point, you really just want them to quickly understand who you are, right? Your value, why you're applying to this job, and just a quick list of your achievements, right? So an example of like a elevator pitch would just be to just start really quickly and just go into detail, but don't go too deep. And so you might want to start by saying, just your name, just like some of the key highlights and just let it rip. They will love that and practice it a few times beforehand. Tip number 3 is to just know your story, right? Like, why are you applying to this job? What was it about, your experiences, whether it was in college or at your previous job, that really drew you to this job application? People love a good story, and if you can connect that to some of the things that you may have saw in the job description or through that research that you were doing on the company, that makes all the difference, right? So, you might also need to really relate that to your resume, because sometimes in interviews, and most often, they're gonna ask you about your resume, right? They may pick, 1 or 2 bullet points. So, make sure not just that you have a resume, but you've also looked at it and you've read it enough so you understand everything that's in there so you can really easily answer any questions that may come your way, right? You wanna know your resume just as well as you know that job or the functions, and so forth. Now with your resume, I would always say pull out, 1 or 2 or 3 key stories that will resonate for this type of role before you get there. Now you may not use them, but it's always good to be prepared so that, if someone says, well, can you tell me more about this? Or can you tell me more about that? You can answer that on your feet. And lastly, I would say, think like a hiring manager. And this involves a little bit of psychology, but think about what that hiring manager is looking to do. They want to find the best candidate for this role. Now that may be you, or that may be the guy coming in or the girl coming in next to you. That's completely fine. But if you want to show them that you are the right person for this job, you got to think like them. They want to know what benefit are they getting from you? They don't want to know that, you're a real goal or you have alternative motives with the job where you want to get the job and then you just want to use it as a stepping ladder. They want to make sure that they're hiring the right person for that role. And so when I say think like a hiring manager, just think in terms of telling them what they want to hear, right? Be very concise. But don't overtell, right? Don't tell them too much where you might disqualify your candidacy. And a good example of that would be just rambling or over answering a question. You just want to be very prompt, very precise, and just answer just enough so that they got the answer and they're satisfied, right? You don't want to make the mistake of just going too deep when you don't need to go deep. I've seen that plenty of times, and I always advise candidates to really have your listening hat on, right? Just listen. Be able to answer those questions very precisely. You don't want to just go too into, just off the deep end, right? A bonus tip is to just prepare a method for, you heard that, bonus tip, right? And there will be more of these. Make sure you subscribe. But I said bonus tip is also practice a methodology to answer these questions. And there's tons of resources out there on how to just, break down those questions, whether it's a behavioral, which I will be getting into in a further episode, but, research like the STAR method and all these different methods out there that can really just help you, break down a question into maybe 3 or 4 parts, and then answer it with, accuracy. What you don't want to do is take a question and say, and just start rattling off an answer without thinking it through. And what I like to do sometimes is say, that's a great question. And even by saying that's a great question, you're saving yourself 2 seconds or 3 seconds to think and formulate an answer to answer the hiring manager, right? So all in all, deep dive into that company, master your elevator pitch is very important. You want to just rattle off, a quick story about who you are. Know your story, know your resume in and out. You don't want any gaps. You want to be able to answer all those questions right off the top of your head and think like a hiring manager. Get inside their brain, right? And just be able to give them all of you with your experiences, your accomplishments, your success stories. And if you do all this, you will hopefully get hired, right? Now, this doesn't always work and you may make a few mistakes, but practice makes perfect, right? That's what I have for you today. Implement those tricks. Let me know how your interview went. I would love to hear about it, and subscribe and share this video with any friends, right? And I'll catch you next time. Peace.